Today, we'll be doing the final placement of the main cabin onto the pontoons. That's coming up on this episode of Do It With Darryl. This morning, the crew at JR had their hands full. They had to shuffle various boats and trailers around the yard to make room for the next steps in our project. While Milo clears space in the yard, Bailey finishes up the support blocks for the sky helmet. Jared double checks the total height clearance of their overhead lift and compares it to the height of the transom. This height may have changed slightly due to the additional weight of the pod. We needed to safely clear the boat's transom as we lowered the suspended cabin into the boat. We're just going to be installing the cabin on top of the boat for the first time in this rebuild. We have a few minutes to wait, so we grab Ty and we're going to be installing the slogan on the side of the pod. Killing it! These two pieces were quickly roughed out on the CNC machine and still needed some final adjustments to fit the bend profiles of the handrails. Meanwhile, Jared and the crew were making a few changes to the rigging to hopefully gain a couple inches of clearance. Milo lines up the boat and trailer as they lift the cabin. He slowly inches the boat into position while Jared keeps a close eye on the transom. So close, but not quite. It's still about 1 inch too high at the transom. Even with the help of the whole crew, it still won't clear. So frustrating. Jared climbs up to see if there are any obstructions on the hoist, but the chain and pulley are clear. So that means it's time to re-rig the lift harness. To increase the overall travel of the lift, Jared must remove a few inches in the height of the harness. He replaces the top part of the strapping with 2 shackles that he has ganged together. Milo hops back in the forklift for another shot at it. This time, it was perfect. The boat and trailer slid directly under the cabin. Now, with the cabin centered on the hull, they can get on with the real job at hand.
Drill.
Okay.
I'm gonna do one in that corner, I'm gonna do one in this corner,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna do one in that corner, then I'm gonna do one in this corner, and then I'm gonna work my way through the whole thing.
Okay,
And do
awesome.
one.
Let's do it. First, pilot holes will be drilled into the bottom flanges of the cabin. These will also act as registration points so that the cabin can be repositioned into exactly the same spot. Jared works along the inside until all of the holes are drilled. Next, the cabin will be lifted so that the Sikaflex can be added to the bottom of the wall flanges. Before adding the Sikaflex, the bottom of the cabin flanges are key. This involves an aggressive sanding that will provide a good surface for the sealant to bond to. Finally, the cabin will be returned onto the hull, lined up with the pilot holes and bolted fast.
Which one? The stainless ones, yeah.
It was so satisfying to see the cabin now mounted permanently to the hull of the boat. The guys at JR stepped back to examine their handiwork. Awesome job, boys. Bob, my marine mechanic and longtime friend, stopped by to take a look. He's been anxious to get started on all of the electrical, plumbing, and motor rigging that will be required to finish this project. Thanks for joining us today, and I'll see you next Saturday on another episode of Do It With Darryl.